Good afternoon, internet, and welcome back to the channel. I'll just clear the throat. So it is, what is it? It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday, isn't it? It's Tuesday. It's the 31st of December, which can only mean one thing. It's the last day of 2024. Finished, kaput, going, never to return. So firstly, a very happy new year and a prosperous 2025 to everyone. For me personally, it's got to be a lot better than 2024 ever was. In fact, I think I can safely say on a personal basis 2024 has been the worst year of my life for lots of reasons, which I'm not going to go into, but you know, just lots of them. The main one can be the weather. But that's the least of the worrying main ones. Anyway, so I'm just going to move my keyboard out of the way, and because just the postman, God bless his little cotton socks, has just brought me a little box. Doesn't securely look wrapped up, but still, never mind. It's basically coming apart. But so now I know what this is really. But I thought, hey, Christmas comes again, you know what I mean? So, oh, by the way, did I say welcome back to the channel? I don't know whether I did. If I didn't, I apologise. But I'm saying it now anyway. Right. Look at that. I got an elastic band as well. So, Garmin. So this is what I ordered. These two things. And this is to put, this is the additional wiring kit and the cradle for my Garmin Zumo, which I've already got fitted to the Himalayan, but I need this additional kit to fit it on the Gorilla, not Gorilla, Gorilla. And yeah, do you know what? I looked all over the place for these, thinking to myself, well, you know, get them at a decent price. Now these two, believe it or not, this was €19 something, and this was 40 odd euro. And I looked everywhere on all your normal, so Amazon and eBay and, you know, bits and pieces local to me as well, you know, outlets for Garmin. And at the end of the day, I couldn't get anywhere better price than Garmin. And the good thing with the Garmin itself, you get free postage. So I suppose I save the postage, if nothing else. But it is annoying, isn't it? You know, they love saying, oh, you know, we make these easily detachable, which they do from the cradles, which is great. So you can do it bike to bike, you know. But then they sting you, or I think they do. It's a lot of money, really, for them. Anyway, that's beside the point of it. If you want one, you've got to pay the money for it, haven't you? Right. Okay. So, and well, actually, I've got the actual prices here. Look, instead of me trying to remember. Oh, what was it now? Oh, have I? Or is it? It tells me the weight of them. Oh, dearie me. It tells me the weight, but it doesn't tell me the price. This is very strange, isn't it, eh? Okay. Motorcycle mount power cable, weighs 0.20 kilogram, and the motorcycle mount itself weighs 0.10 kilogram, but there's no price for them. So I know how much they weigh. There you go, fair play. Right, so the other day I did a video of I forget which one it was. I think it was just me out on a ride on the Gorilla, and I was going on about itchy boots when she had a motorcycle stolen, which, you know, thank God she's got it back. And I touched on Airtags, because to be honest with you, I really don't know much about them. I haven't got any. I've never thought about. Well, I have thought about having some, but. And then one of the people that follow me, Stephen, he sent me a message. I don't know if it was last night, not a message. It's on the comments. It's on the comments of that video, and it says, you know, interesting to hear about the Airtags. He didn't know anything about them. you know, could I do a bit of research on them? Well, I was going to do that anyway, but thank you, Stephen, for asking me that. It's appreciated. So basically, because I know, so when it comes to GPS, global positioning, right? I've always thought of, you know, Garmin, for instance, Garmin, TomTom, that sort of stuff. Your phone is GPS. My drones, you know, wherever I go in the world, and I fly the drone, it gets a GPS lock and it knows exactly where it is, and, you know, to come back home. So that's my understanding of how something knows where it is in the world by GPS satellite system. So when it come down to Airtags and that sort of stuff, I thought to myself, well, maybe that's how they work. Now, from my understanding and the ones that I've looked at, and I hope I'm not boring anybody here. If you're not interested in Airtags, then, you know, just say, oh my God, he's off again, and skip the video and go somewhere else and think, that's it, we've shut him up. But should you be interested, and bear in mind, this is all new to me, I do not profess by any means that this information, this is just what I've looked at. So I thought to myself, oh, right, okay, it's got to know where you are. So the ones that I looked at, first of all, was a sort of little box, magnetic box that you stick on your bike, your car, or whatever you want to stick it on. And you can get a SIM card, you know, like you put in your phone, and, you know, and you put that in pay as you go, cheapest one that you can get. You put that in, you activate it, and then that, of course, then connects to the, you know, to the mobile network, and through that, it can be traced. You know, it knows where you are. And I thought, well, okay, and they're reasonably priced, 30 odd quid, and then, you know, you get a SIM card. Here, I can get one for about €2 a month it is. And I thought, okay, you know, I sort of get that. But of course, the trouble is with that, the minute you go outside your territory or country, because, you know, roaming charges and everything else, it doesn't work. So that's a bit of a drawback, you know. Even in Europe, you know, I mean, with my phone, you know, which obviously is a French contract, the minute I go outside France, it doesn't work unless I activate roaming. So that then was a drawback, you know, much like using Google Maps. I mean, I like Google Maps, but I use Garmin, you know. Although the bikes, you know, I can connect the phone up, or I can just use this. But what I do now, I plot a route. I know I'm deviating for those that say, oh, he's off again, but hey, that's what I do. I plot a route in Google Maps, then I send it via the Garmin link to my Garmin. So that's how I do it anyway. But of course, the trouble is with the Google Maps, should you lose your phone coverage, you've lost, you know, you've lost your maps unless you download and install the maps. Anyway, whereas Garmin, of course, it's global satellite. So that was one way that I looked at these trackers work. But for me, it was like, yeah, okay. But say I get my bike nicked here, you know, they put it in a van, they drive it to Spain. The minute it crosses over the border, I have no idea where it is. Finished, gone. So that's when I looked at Airtags, right? And obviously you've got Apple and you've got Google, and they both do this Find My Device. Apple Find My Device, Google Find My Device. And I thought it was like, well, okay, because I can sit here now on my phone and my computer and my tablet, I can find where they are, which is a bit stupid, I know, because they're right by the side of me, but you get the gist. So I thought, okay, so Google Find My Device, if I get a tag for, you know, an Airtag for that, and I stick it on the bike, but there's no GPS in it, you know, so if the bike's right down in Spain, how is it going to work? You know, that's the bit I couldn't get. How is it going to work? And okay, so it works, and it's quite good actually. This is quite clever. it's clever to me because I'm just an old git who, you know, technology is really not my thing unless I have to use it. But this I find quite interesting. So it works on Bluetooth, right? That's what it does. Airtags are Bluetooth. And you think to yourself, well, okay, you know, but in the best circumstances, Bluetooth range is what? I don't know, 500 metres? 1,000 metres, something like that. It's certainly not going to go to Spain from here, is it? I mean, you know, but it doesn't have to. And this is the beauty of how they've done it. Let me just read you this little bit that it's easier. So, April 2024, right? Google, they refreshed. So it's got Google refreshed and more powerful Find My Device network. Officially was launched in April 2024. It uses, and this is a good bit, it uses crowdsourced information such as Bluetooth and local location proximity data to help users find their lost devices. This information enables more accurate pinpointing globally. So basically what it does is, say if someone stole the bike, yeah, and they've took it to Spain, and you know they're in a street in Spain, or they've put it, you know, I don't know, wherever. As long as other people round them have got their Android phones, if it's an Android one, or Apple phones if it's an Apple one, switched on and with Bluetooth on, that AirTag locks into that crowd sharing. It gets lots of them and it locks into it, and then you go on my Find My Device and that's how you find it. It's as simple as that. Isn't that clever? I think that's really clever. Now, okay, it may not, because if you remembered, if you watched the one with Itchy Boots, she couldn't get the actual precise location to where it was. It's in this area, she said. Do you remember? Those were her exact words. It's in this area. But that's what it does, you see. You can, the more people that's round it with Bluetooth activated devices, you can pinpoint it more and more and more. But it's not like a GPS where you put the address in and it's going to tell you, oh, it's at 73, you know, West Sussex Boulevard. You know, that's not going to happen. It's going to give you in this area, which that alone has got to make life easier if you're looking for your bike. So yeah, that is how they work. And these AirTags, now Apple, right, Apple. Now, I've got to be honest, and I've said this so many times, I'm not an Apple man. I'm really not. I find Apple, I'm not saying it's a good network, we all know that, right? What I do not like about Apple is that anything to do with Apple, it tends to be expensive. Whereas Android, which I've used for years, I was Apple at one stage, but I just got sick to death of paying through the nose for anything that you wanted for it. Maybe it's changed now, but I'm not going to change. But anyway, these tags that, and you can go on to Google and they've got their recommended ones to use. Google at the moment don't make their own tag, although I bet it won't be long before they do. But they recommend some of the makers of the tags. Now, again, like DJI and the drones, and GoPro, you know, they recommend this and they recommend that. And to be fair, there are other alternatives that do exactly the same jobs. I know, I use them, you know. So, I've done a lot of... You can get some of these tags, and as long as it says on these tags, compatible with Find My Device, you can get these tags as cheap as like €15 a tag. Now for me, €15 a tag, that's not bad going really when you think about it, is it? Now there is a debate where some people say that if your bike's nicked, now okay, Itchy Boots was slightly different. She recovered it pretty quick. I'd say that the two guys that nicked it were probably just after, you know, I don't know. I don't think they actually wanted the bike. I think they thought maybe in the bags and that there might have been something of value, you know. Who knows? I mean, that's just me guessing. So, apart from them chopping the wires, which is a mystery to anybody, but still, there wasn't much damage, was it? I think she did something to the mirror, didn't she? Anyway. But there are some people that say that you know, the lock on your ignition, you turn your bars, you know, you lock it. A lot of people say that's the worst thing to put on, is that. Because it's easy. You can really, you know, with a bit of brute force, especially if there's a couple of you can get that lock off. But the trouble is, you can cause a lot of damage to the frame. And a lot of times the insurance company write the bike off and you lose money. Yeah. So a lot of people are saying, well, they don't put that lock on. To be honest, I don't. I don't use that lock. You know, I've got locks that I carry with me. Here in France, I'm sure it's the same in most countries these days. We have to produce to the insurance a certificate for the lock that states that it's you know, it meets their standards. And I carry 2 locks with me, you know, which I put on the bike. So I don't put on the, you know, the bar lock. And there's a lot of people that says, well, maybe, you know, if your bike's gone, it's gone, be done with it. And you think to yourself, okay, you know, you can see that sort of side of an argument. But there's the other side as well. And I don't know if you remember this. This was this summer. I can't remember the guys' names and I can't remember the channel, but it was on YouTube. It was a father and son. They came over here to France. He was on I think it was a 1200 GS or 1250 GS BMW. I forget what his son was on now. I think it was a Suzuki or something. There again, I can't be 100%. They were in Rennes. They crossed over on the ferry. They'd ridden down to Rennes. It was the first night. They'd stopped at sort of hotel-y, motel-y, apartment-y sort of things. They'd parked the 2 bikes outside while they unloaded them. They didn't put the locks on. And they came out literally, you know, I mean, it was 10 minutes and his bike had gone. That was it, gone. Now, I don't know what happened at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure, because, you know, the trouble, if you've got a YouTube channel and you say on YouTube, well, I didn't put the locks on, you can't say afterwards to the insurance, yeah, I locked my bike. And so I think he sort of incriminated himself in a way, and I think the insurance didn't pay it. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I didn't follow the story to the very end, but I've got an idea he didn't get his payout because he didn't put the locks on. So yeah, but just think if he'd have got some form of tracker, he might have stood a chance then, you know, get on his phone, you know, they'd only just nicked the bike. There was a good chance he could have get it. So maybe these trackers are the thing forward. And maybe, I don't know, if you go to the insurance and you say, look, I've got a tracker. I've got a, oh dearie me, here we go, old age again. I've got a tracker that, you know, maybe you'd like to think that maybe you get a discount. There again, we are talking of insurance companies here, aren't we? So anyway, you know, that's it really. That's what I found out about them. Am I interested in them? Personally, yes, I think they could be a good idea. It's not just a case of getting the bike back, is it? If you can apprehend the thieving little tow rags that think it's okay to take somebody else's property, then I think they're worth every penny, because, you know, what is the world? I know I'm pretty lucky here. You know, everybody gets the impression, oh, you know, live in rural France is quite. No, don't get. It's not. It's yeah, okay. You know, the criminal side here is very, very low. You know, I mean, half the time I forget to lock my cars. You know, sometimes we don't lock the house. I have got a huge Cane Corso Mastiff dog though, so if anybody did walk in here, they'd be totally stupid and wouldn't get out in one piece. But that's beside the point. But it can never be, oh, it doesn't happen here because I live in rural France, because it does. Theft is on the, you know, as times get harder, unfortunately, there is an element of people that will, without even thinking about it, take what isn't theirs without any remorse whatsoever. So, if these Airtags or trackers or whatever you want to call them can apprehend or maybe deter or catch some of these people, well, I think it's worth the money. Anyway, so now when you look at it, I have the wiring kit to put the Garmin on, which means the tank has got to come off the Gorilla, and I have the rack to fit as well. I was actually going to do the rack today, but you know, things to do. It is holiday time, you know. I've got the family; they're all at home, so it's not fair to me to do. So I am going to try. Well, the rack's going to be first, and then we'll do the other one. Anyway, look. On that note, I'm going to end this video because I'm sure you're probably all sick to death of me rabbiting on. I will see you in the new year. I will see you next year. In fact, will be the next time that you have the pleasure of me and my voice. I wish you all a really happy new year. I really do. Thank you so much for sticking with me throughout 2024 and 2023. I hope you're going to stay with me in 2025. And let's see if we can do a lot more in 2025 than this year, because, you know, due to my accident in May, I limited riding this year. So I'd like to think that maybe that's going to change and I can get out on the bikes more, so we can get some places and maybe get some camping. I haven't been camping now for 2 or 3 years, and you know, but the first trip out this year, as soon as the weather gets, which I don't suppose it's going to be much before April, is I'm going to go and see Pete again. Pete from Normandy, and we've been talking about this. We was going to meet up this year, but the weather, it's absolutely awful, and I had things to do and Pete had things to do, and then the weather was that bad, so that never happened. So hopefully next year that is a definite goer. Right, okay, I'm going to leave you all. Have a fantastic night, take care, look after yourselves, and just enjoy yourselves. If you like this, give me a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. If you're not subscribed to me, I'd love you to be. Have a fantastic New Year's Eve, and I'll see you all in 2025. Bye for now.